Hello dear student, again welcome to my class. My name is Namita Mukhia, Assistant Teacher, Nepali Girls High Secondary School. Now today I will be teaching, I have taken one of the important chapter from the education, that is the graphical representation of the data, that is from the statistic. Now as we have done earlier, we have represented the characteristics of the individual in a tabular form. Now today what we do is we try to represent those the characteristics of the student not in a tabular form but in a graphical presentation, because graphical presentation of the data is more you will be able to understand more about the characteristics of an individual through the graphical representation than the tabular representation. So today we have graphical representation of the data, and there are two types of the graphical representation. That is, the first one is the frequency polygon and the second one is the histogram. Now talking about the frequency polygon, it is a continuous line graph. Now in here the points are connected, often connected especially with a smooth line, but with a straight line segment. And there are certain advantages of the frequency distribution. The first one is that it will help to understand the individual characteristic, and it will provide you a clear picture regarding the distribution of the score. That is number one. And in number two, it also helps to make sure that the data is sorted out, and those represented data makes easier for the people to compare and also contrast the results. Okay, so these are the two important advantages of the frequency polygon. Now to draw the frequency polygon, what we need is, we need the class interval and we need the frequency. So over here we have total 10 class intervals which start from 10 to 14 till 15 to 59. Likewise, we have different frequencies over here. Now, the first step in the frequency is to find out the midpoint, because to draw a frequency polygon, you need to plot the midpoints. So, what I do is, I'll take out the midpoint. So xi signifies the midpoints. Okay, now the midpoint between 10 to 14. As in our earlier session, I have given you a formula to take out the midpoints, where you have apply this formula like this: midpoint equals to upper limit plus lower limit divided by 2. So over here we have 14 as my upper limit and 10 as my lower limit divided by 2. So this will go like this: 24 upon 2. So 2 ones are 2, 2 12s are 24. So in this model group, that is from 10 to 14, my midpoint is 12. Likewise, 15 to 19, my next midpoint will be 17, because I've given you another easy method to count the midpoints, to get the midpoint, that is through your fingers. So 15, 16, 17, 18 and 19. So 15 is my middle finger. So 17 is over here. So 15, 16 and 17. So 17 is my next midpoint. Likewise, from 20 to 24 is 22 and the next one is 27. From 30 to 34 model group, my midpoint is 32, from 35 to 39, 37, 40 to 44 is 42, 45 to 49 is 47, 50 to 54 is 52, and 55 to 57 is 59 is 57. So first step is to find out the midpoints. Now, after you finish with the midpoints, now the second step, what you do is, you just count on the total score. So how many number of score we have over here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we have total score is 10. Now you need to take 2 additional score. Remember, you need to take 2 additional score. That means plus 2 additional score. Where you take the additional score, one is at the first and one is at the last. So I will take 2 additional score, one is at first. So my next model class will be 5 to 9. Okay, so since this is my additional score, so I'll write additional. And over here also I'll take another additional score, that is 60 to 64. I will also write ADD. That means this is my, for convenience, this is my additional score. Since these are the 2 additional score, they don't have any frequencies, but you need to take out the midpoints. So over here also there is no any frequencies, you only have to take out the midpoints. So take out the midpoints. From 5 to 9 is 7. This is the additional one. Even over here I'll take out another midpoint of the last class, that is from 60 to 64 is 62. Now, one of the important thing which you have to remember is that we have to use the graph paper in inch. So there are different squares like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what we do is that each square we count is as 1 unit. Okay, each one square means 1 unit. So altogether 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 squares. That means 5 small square equals to 5 units. So what we do is, when we plot the midpoints in this line, what we do is we will take 5 unit, that means 5 small square as 5 unit as 1 table, okay, or the 1 class interval. Now, okay, now to draw the frequency polygon, now you need a graph paper. In a graph paper you need 2 lines, one is the horizontal line and one is the vertical lines. This line signifies is specially for the midpoint. So write down below this midpoints equal to, we are taking 5 small square. Okay, we are taking 5 small square and making that as 1 unit, that is 1 class for 1 class interval. So this will be my x-axis. So what I'll write is, this is my x-axis. And I need another line. This is specially for the frequencies. So what I'll do over here is, I'll write frequencies. This is specially meant for the frequency, and this line is my y. And the intersection point in between the x and y axis will be counted as 0. And what you do is you start with the midpoints. So plot all those midpoints in the x-axis. So we'll start with my first midpoint, that is 7. We have, after 7 we have 12, then 17, this is 22, 27, 32, 37, likewise 42, 47, 52, 57, and my last number is 62. So I have already plotted all my midpoints in the x-axis. Now what I need is I need to plot the frequencies. But for that there is one formula which you have to follow, that is y-axis should always be 3/4 of x-axis. That means y-axis जहिले पनि x-axis को 3/4 हुनु पर्छ. So the formula goes like this: y-axis equals to 3/4 of x. So we know 3/4 of x. X means how much? How many small square do we have over here? So we know that 1 unit is of 5 small square. So 1 unit equals to 5 small square. That means we have total of 12 units, because 10 is my score. I have taken 2 additional score. So 10 plus 2 is 12. So 12 into 5 small square, 5 equals to 60 small square. So for your convenience, what you do is you count from here till the last one, because here we have small square like this: 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Okay, so each of these 5 small square makes 60 small square in x-axis. So now what I'll write, 3/4 of x is my 60. So find out 3/4 of x of 60 will be 4, 2, 2 ja 4, 2, 3 ja 6, 2 0 ja 0, 2 1 ja 2, 2 15 ja. So 3 into 15 is my 45. Okay, so you have got 45 small squares in y-axis. Now the next step is, now find out which is your highest frequency. Now your highest frequency is 12. So in the y-axis you need 12 frequencies till from 1, 2, 3, 4 till 12. So what you need to do is you need to divide these 45 small squares in 12 different equal division. So for the convenience, what you do is, though y-axis ma our highest frequency is 12, so you go on, you find out the multiples of 12. So what I do is 12 into 3 za is 36 and 12 into 4 za is 48. Okay, so in number 1 we have got 36 and in number 2 we have got 48. Now which is closest to, find out which is the closest to 45, which is closest to 45. So the very close to 45 is 48. Okay, now 48. now 48 ho bhane, what you do is, now when you take the y-axis ma you have to take this, that means 4 small squares linu paryo. Understood? Right? Now what I do, I have got 1, 2, 3 and 4. So what I'll do, I'll write, this is my frequency 1. Okay, likewise again 4, then is frequency 2, again 4, frequency 3, 4, likewise 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and my highest frequency is 12. So in frequency you write down 4 small square equals to 1 unit. Okay, if you write like this, that means frequency you are taking 4 small square equals to 1 unit, and in the midpoint you are taking 5 small square equals to 1 unit. So it is, why you write all this, it is because that during the time of the examination, if you write this, then you will score marks, more marks. Okay, now start plotting the frequencies. Now what I'll do over here is, we have in the first section, that means in the first module class, that is from 5 to 9, there is no any frequencies. So over here also you don't need to plot any frequencies, but for the next higher class, that is from 10 to 14, we have frequency of 2. So what I'll do, in the midpoint of 12, what I'll do is, I'll plot this, that means this is my 2. Okay, likewise another frequency, that is the midpoint of 16 has got the frequency of 8. So what I'll do, I'll straightly go over here and find out the intersection point of 8. Like 22 we have 6. Likewise I'll do like this, 6. Now again 27 is 12. So my next midpoint with the frequency of 12. Okay, now likewise we have 32. 32 ko hamro frequency kati cha? We have 7, frequency of 7. So little bit higher than this. And the next we have 6. Now remember, I am doing in a blank space. तिमीहरूले graph paper मा गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ it will become more easier for all of you to understand. Okay, next is my 4. Likewise 3. We have 3 and we have 1 1. So 2. This is my 1 and 1. Okay, since there is no any frequencies in the last, because we have taken this as an additional one, so over here also we don't have any frequencies. Now the best thing is, now you have already plotted all the points. Now the best is, now you have to join all the points with a dot. So start with the 7. That means from here it should touch this line, because 12 is, or it has got the frequency of 2. Then we'll go to the next higher level, that is the frequencies of 8. Likewise we have frequency after 8 is, we have 6. Then we have 22. After 22 we have these 2 lines. Likewise over here we have another point over here. Then the next point here, I am joining all the lines segment through a continuous line. That's why this is known as frequency polygon. Now the last number, since 62 has no frequency, so this point should end in here. Okay, so you start from 0, you end with 0, but all the frequencies which you have done, it has to be plotted in here in a graph paper. Now this is your frequency polygon. Okay, now this frequency polygon is you can compare the two frequency polygon with one another in order to know the characteristics of the individual. So I hope you'll go through this frequency polygon with this much for today. Thank you.